And there she is. Ah, the hero of the katas. You have some reputation already to hear merchants talk. If you are as good as they say you are, then you must be plenty good. I be Ahura. I be honored you visit here. Oh, let's go say hi. Habari, young adventurer. It's good to have your kind here. Hey, you hear about this place called Spielberg? Maybe you find work for Hero here too. Let's see. Dude. The woman fits in well with the rest of the guild hall, but would stand out like a sore thumb in your average Shapirian crowd. Her appearance gives you the impression that she's as foreign to these parts as you are. The stuffed head brings back memories of your encounters with those lovable Saurus Rexes in Spielberg. This relative doesn't look as bulky, but seems every bit as mean. The plaque reads, Pterosaurus, slain by Rakesh Satarna. The bow and quiver on the wall are for times of war. It'd be kind of useful here, though. This creature's head looks like that of an overgrown canine. But if the plaque is to be believed, it must have been separated from a humanoid torso. The plaque reads, Jackalman, slain by Sweeping Sir James. The tusks could only have come off of a rather large specimen of Hephalumpus purobinus. A native Fricanian shield and 2 crossed spears adorned part of the wall above the doorway. Oh, why the fail emote? Why is the coyote upset? Let's ask her about herself. My name be Ahura. It means freedom in my people's voice. People? My people be very far from here. I be Simbani warrior. But Simbani woman cannot be wife and warrior. So I be coming to Shapir to find father, so I can bear child. Now I have Simba, and still remain Simbani warrior. Homeland. My land and people are from many months' travel from here. Simba's father? Simba's father be in Sultan's guards, strong fighter. He be almost better than me. News. Always be much things going on here. Much to talk about. What do you want to know? Right now all we can ask about are rumors. Maybe they be needing new guildmaster here soon. I be thinking. When problems be in Shapir, I be here. When problems be going, I be going. Desert. No place for fools. Too hot in the day, too many monsters at night. Very easy to get lost and never come back. Monsters. Many monsters live in the desert. You be going there, you need to watch for jackalmen and ghouls at night. During the day, you find brigands and scorpions and pterosauruses. Always a problem. So, jackalmen. One jackalman not be all that tough. Many jackalmen be wearing down even good fighters. Keep rest of pack off your flank at all cost. Ghouls. Ghouls be bad magic things, but only out at night. They will eat the dead. But they will not be picky if they get the chance to eat you. They steal your life and then use it to cast spells against you. Avoid their spells and kill them quickly while they be weak. Brigands. Brigands be only moderate fighters, but they can still kill unprepared victims. You be fine as long as you attack and defend better than they do. Well, yeah, that... If you attack and defend better than your opponent, yeah, you're gonna beat him. Scorpion. If you be fighting Scorpion, you must watch the tail. If the tail gets you, then you will be plenty sick. Maybe dead. Unless you get healing. Scorpion be not very smart fighter, though. The Pterosaurus. Dinosaur thing with many claws and teeth. It likes to eat people. Look out when it leaps at you. It can tear you up if you do not dodge. A few weeks ago, one Pterosaurus approached City and invade Pen. Tried to kill riding sauruses. Rakesh was nearby and helped gate guards slay it. Now head hangs here on the wall. The Griffin. Strong fighter with claws and beak it be. Tear you to shreds unless you dodge and fight better. Rasir. Very bad things happen there. Maybe they start to happen here. I be hoping not. I be strong fighter, but such things come of bad magic. Hard to fight magic with a spear. No, Wilds. It's Griffin. Griff. Ian. Because they spell it wrong. Actually, did I spell it wrong? I-N. Okay. Well, let's wander over here to the logbook. The log is, for the most part, written in a language you can't read. But you sign your name into the book with a flourish. It's the head of the rare southern moose, you can tell by the hat. So one of the things that we can do here that we could not do in the guild hall in the first game is we can go into this back room. That will be the place to see how good a fighter you are. I get tired of not using spear and shield for so long a while. Maybe you and I go check out skills there. No magic though. I don't do magic. No throwing things either. Only melee fighting. This be the training area. Sometimes Rakesh and I spar here when his leg be not hurting. If you have some spare time, we can practice a bit together. You may not be warrior, but basic combat knowledge still be useful to keep you alive. Simba looks excited. You wonder if his mother always allows him to attend combat training. Can we talk to the kid? Oh, well, there's our face. Goo goo ga ga goo. Poltergeists make up the principal types of spontaneous material manifestations. I've never seen that before. Alright, hey, let's go with tutorial. You may be wanting to know about some basic combat actions. I'd be happy to teach you. This tutorial is intended to introduce the player to the basics of the game's battle system. Good. We start with some footwork. First, move backwards, like this. Toot. Now you try. Press keypad 2 down to walk back. Boop boop boop. Whoop, I think she just told me to do it again. We now both be standing at edge of combat area. None of us capable of moving farther backward. Now walk forward again to advance on opponent. Keypad 2? Yeah, you use the number pad to control your combat in this. Doot doot doot. If enemy right in front of you, you cannot advance further. Footwork also important when getting out of harm's way. There will be various ways to dodge incoming attacks. Most common way, moving sideways. Be careful if enemy swings with his weapon. If you be dodging in the wrong direction, you'd be walking right into his blow. Press 1 and 3 to dodge sideways. Ready? Go! Good. In real combat, opponent may be faster. I'd be going easy on you now. Reflexes and blade must be equally sharp, otherwise you lose. The funny thing is, Wilds, the combat in the original Quest for Glory 2 I actually thought was better than it was in Quest for Glory 1, even the VGA remake. It just felt more responsive. There'd be more ways to evade blows in combat, all of them based on principle of footwork. Oh, but this remake made the combat even more complicated. And it's also a heck of a lot harder. Easiest way is jumping backwards and moving out of my reach. Let's try. Press keypad 2 down to avoid attacks. This key has 3 different functions. Haha! Problem with jumping backward be that you can get cornered this way. If an attack is aimed high, you can quickly duck under it. This not be very tiring, and you remain within reach for a quick counterattack, but will only work if you act at last moment. Whoops, I think she just said, we're gonna try it. Haha! Well timed. Now we try something similar. If enemy uses attack aimed at kneecaps or feet, you can jump. I do low stab and you dodge by jumping. Press 2. So 2 is your step backwards, jump out of the way, duck, and jump. Wata! To be a quick learner, last defensive action be parry skill. Footwork be very important, but it not be the only way to save your life in battle. You can block attacks with weapon. Swordsmen often favor blade to stop attacks from other swordsmen instead of dodging. Well, we have a knife. So press 6 right to block attacks with your weapon. Ready? Now! Dink! Make sure to defend like that in actual combat too. Now we do some attacking. Combat can't be won unless you damage enemy. The safest and fastest way to attack be the stab or thrust. Stab does not do much damage, but enemy won't have much time to defend against it or counter it. Try stabbing. Press 9. Burp. And then she dodges out of the way. Finally, let's practice the swing. This attack be slower than the stab, but inflicts more damage. Press 7. Wata! Attack me once more. Wata! Whoop. I was just instinctively hit parry. Hey, Tyson. That'd be all for now. Next training session, we fight for real. One more thing. If you think you'd be losing, run away. Survival be more important than pride. You may die gloriously out in the desert, but nobody here will ever know. Press escape if you just want to run. Now, that's just the basic melee controls. There's also the magic controls, which that's QWE and AD or AS and D. So I'm going to be having my hands on keyboards during fights. But there's another thing that's going to help tremendously, and I have no shame in using it. Unique to the remake, combat options, auto battle assistance. Let's just turn this thing on. And hit help. When the arcade difficulty is set to easy or normal, the co-pilot feature can assist you with certain combat actions. This panel allows you to customize the co-pilot's priorities. Keep in mind, the co-pilot only assists you in battles. It will not fight the entire battle for you. The offense slider, the further this slider is set to the right, the further the co-pilot will tend to concentrate on attack-related assistance. The swing/counter slider, when this slider favors swing, the co-pilot will focus on assisting you with follow-up attacks after a normal swing. The maximum amount of attacks performed is determined by the XX/ button near the bottom. When this slider favors counter, the co-pilot will attempt to retaliate after a blocked or ducked attack. Only the fighter class will learn counterattacks over the course of the game. The defense slider, the further this is set to the right, the further the co-pilot will tend towards concentrate on defense-related assistance. The parry-dodge slider, when this slider favors parry, the co-pilot will focus on blocking and parrying enemy attacks. When it favors dodge, it will react to enemy attacks by attempting to perform an evasive action, determined further by the sidestep miscellaneous slider beneath it. And people think Dark Souls games are difficult to learn? Yeah, after the last stream, and after I actually completed Quest for Glory 1, got and exported the character, I spent not an entire week, but a good amount of time playing this and learning its quirks. I still don't have a good grasp on the combat system, which is why we're going to be using the co-pilot a lot. The sidestep/miscellaneous slider, when this slider favors sidestep, the co-pilot will favor sidesteps. Thank you. To avoid attacks, keeping the hero in melee range. When it's set to miscellaneous, the co-pilot will try to duck or jump an attack if possible, and will otherwise jump out of melee range. The XX/ button, when assisting, will follow up slashes after a swing. We're not actually going to be using that. This button will determine the maximum number of slashes the co-pilot will attempt. That just sounds like a way to get yourself into trouble and locked into animations. This button will not work if the player does not have the ability to string attacks together, which I guess we don't. The enable/disable button. This turns the whole thing on and off. So, drag that all the way down. And we're going to leave that on... I don't want you doing anything. Anything on offense. Maximum defense. Just keep me alive. Alright. Oh, and there's a silly clowns option. We're going to leave that on. I don't know what it does. Now, let's see what our 100 stats from the first game get us in a real training fight. Challenge. Missouri-sana, I accept your challenge. Let's fight. Why would you want serious clowns? That's a good point. Hwata! Come on, do things. Ah, too slow. That was the autopilot. I actually hit parry and it decided, you know what, you need to dodge. Come on, do things. I'll poke you if you don't. I'll stab you. Do not get back into melee range if you knock her back. In fact, if I do it again, I'll show it. So if I get back into melee range... Oh, he parried it. The co-pilot parried it. Alright. She jumps up, and the co-pilot steps me out of the way. That will... When she jumps back up, it will hit you. Look, I'm trying to parry. Could you... Thank you. Back up. These little training fights end whenever one of us runs out of stamina. Because you notice, I'm not actually taking health damage when she hits me. That's because this is just training. We're not really trying to hurt each other. Well, I'm not trying to hurt her, for real. Critical hit. That's something else that's new in this. Come on, dodge. I'd say I'm doing pretty good for my first time. Scorpion always wiggles tail before it strikes. Be ready to back away. This probably looked amazing when it was new, but the mechanics must have been mind-numbing. This is a fan-made remake that is actually relatively new. I don't know when exactly it came out. Let's see. Can we... Oh no, I should have clicked that button. Oh no. Okay, here it is. This remake was made in 2008. And now we click through all the rest of the crap that comes up when you hit help. Oh, it did say what the original date was. 1990. Click, 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 click. There. And after training with her, we have 0 stamina, which, as we learned from the previous game, is actually very bad. We can die from exhaustion. Relatively new, he says, of a 13-year-old game. Yeah. Yeah. I'll say it's newer than the last time I actually played through this series. This is a logo of the Eternal Order of Fighters. There's some text written on the plaque. Can we get closer? If you've got real guts and you don't know the meaning of fear, if you've got real muscles and don't take guff from no one, if you've got a real weapon and know how to use it, then maybe you're good enough to join the Eternal Order of Fighters. We pick only the best to join and we'll be watching you. So don't just be good, be great. Be a member of EOF. Eternal Order of Fighters. Guts, glory, the greatest. Hey, what the heck is the Eternal Order of Fighters? Can we ask about that? EOF. Men join to show off muscles and talk big. Sounds kind of hot, actually. Later, Rakesh. Well, there's not a whole lot else that we can do when we have no stamina, so... back to the inn. Welcome, hero. One nice thing about this game is that you can sleep for free anytime. The bad thing is, we no longer have Arana's Peace. We have no way to sleep and regain a full heal. So we can rest for just an hour. And the big problem that I have with this game is that, unlike the first one, where your progress was, you were in control of it. The story progressed by the things you did. In this, certain events will happen at certain days. And right now, there's nothing going on. So, only thing we can do is train and prepare for the days when things do happen. 59 MP, still not enough. Not for the games that I want to play with Aziza. You got to see the ashtray of Shapir made from imported coconut shell, hand carved by Kata natives into face of Sultan. You will not find this anywhere else. So what I end up spending most of my days doing, going out into the, oh yeah, we need to... Today is a good day for fighting practice. Every day is a good day for fighting practice. I didn't even look at the postings on the board. There will be given to the one who restores the Emir Aris al-Din to his rightful place in the palace at Rasir the sum of 1,000 dinars by order of the Sultan Harun al-Rashid. The way of the paladin, to seek, to learn, to do. He who is willing to brave the desert should seek Harik Attar in his shop, the sign of the mortar and pestle by the fountain. That one shall find rewards for his courage. Those who do service to the city and land of Shapir shall know the rewards of goodness by order of the Sultan Harun al-Rashid. There is needed for a spell of great power the whirling part of a dervish. Inquire at the magic shop. Keep on laughing, proprietor. So, as I was saying, what I spend most of the days on that don't have actual story stuff happening is training. Either sparring with Ahura or playing the magic games with Aziza. And also, Keep On Laughing has a game that we can play. Ahoy, Goy. Howdy, Doody. What's up, Doc? Alright, we're going to ask him... What was that, Dervish. The dervish of the desert oversees his own oasis, and he sits upon the sands by the shore of a small spring. It is somewhere south of Shapir and in inches a bit east. If you're going to go and gab with him, you better take a beast. Oh, Wilds? Keep laughing? Yeah, his name is actually Keep On Laughing. Wilds? I showed this earlier, but you weren't here. Ask about fish. This is where I got this line. Oh, cod, it makes me eel when people carp and whale just for the halibut with no porpoise. I am net that kind of buoy, see? I'm sure tired of gills in school with their tales of roe. Coral, Bob, and Brine made me say this. Thanks for rising to the bait and falling for it. Hook, line, and sinker. We're really fishing here, folks. A river dirty, Gertie, adieu to you. Bye now, purple cow. And additionally, there's another really good set over at the Money Changer. Normally, I have no reason to come back here. A pleasure to see you again. I like a man who just keeps on coming. As you look at the guard, Frank, the guard, marks you with his glare. You suspect he would give no quarter in a fight. He would likely pound you into ruble. In any case, he has no dime to speak to you, to coin a phrase. To fight him would make no sense. Better to leave him alone for a change. Guide to sightseeing in beautiful Rasir only cost you 1 dinar since it's only got a 1 page. So, you're the stranger the merchants are talking about. The gate to Shapir is always open, but never have I seen an entrance to the city like yours. To fly in on a carpet, it must be grand. The guard looks much like any other well-trained soldier, only perhaps a little bit more buff. You suspect that he's more than capable of taking care of the occasional monster that ventures too close to the city. Let's say hi. Good day, Effendi. Name? My name is Unz al-Wujud, which means delight in existing things. I hate this game, but clearly Resolute should play the series. Oh, the whole series is basically like that. It's all about puns and bad jokes and really awful sense of humor, and it's why I am the way I am. To fly in on a carpet is quite a rugged ride. Nice. News. I hear much talk from around the city in my duty as a guard. What can I help you with? Rumors. It's said that in Rasir it's death to break the smallest of laws. Tell me about the town. The duty of a guard in Shapir is to make certain all people are safe from violence or ill-doing. The inn? The Kata's Tail Inn is in the Gate Plaza. Fountain. The fountain is the heart of the city. Dinar Zed. Her shop is in the south end of Dinar Tariq. Aziza. I've been by her house on Sit Tariq, but it has an eye painted on the door. The Adventurers Guild. The Adventurers Guild is in the west end of the Plaza of Fighters. The Astrologer. His shop's at the end of Tariq of Stars. The desert. The desert's a very dangerous place for any man. In the middle of the day, the sun will burn one, and at night many foul monsters prowl in search of easy prey. The dunes are all alike, and it's easy to lose one's way. Only if one is properly prepared can one endure, or when one travels in a caravan. Dunes. Dunes are the waves of the desert. Monsters. It's my duty to protect the city against monsters that approach it. The brigands of the desert and the swift pterosaur make travel by day in the desert even more dangerous. The brigands will happily kill you for whatever you carry. The pterosaurs will hunt you for your flesh. And only the brave and foolish travel the desert alone in the daytime. Tell me about the brigands. The brigands will happily kill you for whatever you carry. Tell me about the pterosaurs. The pterosaurs will hunt you for your flesh, which I guess is what you're carrying. Preparation. One must never travel in the desert without a source of water. You will need to buy a water skin from one of the merchants. Got one. A compass is useful to keep from getting lost. Food supplies to keep away hunger are a good idea. One thing that aids you most to stay alive in the desert is a good riding saurus. Tell me about the saurus. You can see the riding sauruses in the stable over there. They're intelligent and brave creatures, willing to obey the slightest command from their master. They'll take you where you wish and come to your aid against monsters. Best of all, they can always find their way back to here, where they're stabled, so you never get lost. The seller of sauruses will be here tomorrow. Perhaps you can purchase one then. Stable. It costs but 50 centimes to stable a saurus there. It should be watered and fed regularly. It is against our laws to bring a saurus into the city, since it can be fierce in defense of an owner. The seller. The seller is a strange man. I have not heard one who can talk faster than trying to sell a saurus. Caravan. A caravan is many travelers journeying together. It's much less dangerous that way. There will be a caravan to Rasir in 16 days. The Dervish. Dervish lies in the oasis to the south. He knows everything that goes on in the desert. The oasis? The oasis is a place in the desert where there is life-giving water. It's 5 scareen links to the south and 3 scareen links to the east from the town overlook. What's a scareen? A scareen is the distance from here to over there. It's a screen. Rasir. It's said the duty of the guards of Rasir is to make certain all people obey the many laws. That's all he has to say. Unfortunately, we can't get a Saurus. It's a variety of red Saurus that you never saw in Spielberg. Well, we've got 1 water skin. It's mostly full. That should be enough to get us to at least the oasis. You're not likely to live long if you go out that way. One can't travel in the desert unless one's better prepared or joins a caravan. Yeah, you're not the boss of me.